Hey guys, I'm Nate Hosie, and today I'm going to be talking with you about shot sizes and choke tubes in the turkey woods. So when it comes to myself and when I'm picking what choke tube and what shot size I'm going to use for the upcoming turkey season, over the years, I'll be honest with you, I've tried about everything. This current season that we're going into, I'm using a Beretta A300 12 gauge. I've got a True Glow Headbanger choke, but I also use the factory choke tube that came with it, which is a full. Now, when you think of turkey hunting, we all know, obviously, when it comes to turkey hunting, most of the time you are aiming for the base of the neck and you want to hit him in that neck or head region. So in choosing what shot size you want to utilize and when choosing what choke tube you want to utilize, obviously we want to look at what patterns the best and what gives us the most uniform pattern on that vital zone of that turkey. So the only way that we could really figure this out is take your gun, try a bunch of different choke tubes, and try a bunch of different shotgun shells. Over the years, that has been something that I've done with all kinds of ammunition, all kinds of choke tubes, all kinds of firearms. And there has been such a revolution in the turkey ammunition side of things over the years with TSS. We've seen TSS come on and explode onto the scene with its ability, especially downrange. Not only its hitting power, but its ability downrange. And so that also changes the game and is something that all of us as turkey hunters need to look at. With TSS, I also think that although it does make you more effective at longer distances, it's still something we want to be as ethical as we can be as a turkey hunter, to where we're still taking shots within our effective range as well as our firearm and whatever our setup might be. So when I first get ready to pattern my shotgun, the first thing I do, get a couple of lifelike targets that look like an actual turkey. You know, you could draw it on a plate, you could use a circle and it'll still show you that, but I like to use an actual turkey's head and neck area so that I could really see where I'm gonna hit. And I'll try it at all different ranges. I'll try it at 15, 20, 30, 35, 40, 50. Usually I don't go much past 50, but I will try some at 60 just to see how the pattern holds together and how the gun shoots out at longer distance, in case you're out in the field and you feel effective at that range and your gun will perform at that range with the shot size you choose. And I'll go ahead and try all these different ranges. Over the years, when you look at shot sizes, for a long, long time, I shot number 5s. And the reason for that is when you take, number 5 lead, you have number 4s and 6s. I always thought that number 5 was that great middle ground. Your 6s, you have more BBs than your 4s, and your 5s are kind of in between. So I always liked to shoot the 5s because it was a good middle ground. They patterned well out of my gun, and I shot them for years. At number 4s, you have a bigger pellet. Number 6s, you have more pellets. Now, having more pellets obviously is a great thing to have downrange. The more pellets you have going downrange, the more likely you are successful. Especially, none of us are immune to human error in the heat of the moment. When things get real and that old Longbeard is up there and has got your heart racing, it's easy to pull. So having more BBs downrange is not a bad thing. Number 4s are great, but like I said, over the years, I've used number 5s. I brought some examples today just to show you of some of the patterning that I did this season with this Beretta. Again, I shot the factory full choke, which this gun comes with, and it's a great shooting choke, but I have used the Headbanger by True Glow for the last few years and really happy with that. So you could see on a number 5, the first shot out of the gun on this target, you could see this is with the full choke now. This is not with the Headbanger, this is with the full choke. But you could see the uniform of the pattern, right? So you have pretty much pellets all around this target, which I like, and a ton of pellets in the effective kill area between the base of his neck and his head. So at 30 yards, and again, I did all these at 30 just to keep it specific to, that range so we weren't jumping all over the place. But at 30 yards, for a full choke, that's an extremely effective pattern, in my opinion. On the number 6s, you could see that there is just a little bit more BBs throughout. You can see there's quite a bit more over here and here. You have more pellets coming out of that number 6. Also a really good round and shoots really well out of that full choke. Then what I did was I took TSS 9s and I tried a TSS out of the full. And although, if you look at them next to each other, you can't see much difference. You could see quite a bit of pellets all the way through, a good uniform pattern, but you're also getting a lot more BBs out past it. back in the day, I can remember everybody saying, hey, I need to be shooting a 3.5-inch Magnum. And I'm not saying you don't. 3.5-inch Magnums kill a lot of turkeys. They got a lot of power. But what I have found, with at least my personal opinion, I like to shoot a 3-inch Magnum. The energy and velocity is pretty much similar. With the 3.5, yes, you gain more BBs, just like the 6s per se or the 9s. You're gaining more BBs, but also you got to pay attention to, are you gaining more BBs in the effective range, right? So if you're throwing a 3.5 down range, yes, you are throwing more BBs, but you still want to pattern it to see if you're throwing more BBs into the effective range or just throwing more BBs down range. So that's one thing you want to pay attention to when you're patterning your shotgun. So after I shot these 3, again, all at 30 yards with the full choke that comes with this shotgun, I then jumped over and put in the Headbanger by True Glove. And right off the bat, you could tell on the number 5s, a tighter pattern, a really effective pattern. Obviously, he'd need more than an Advil at this point, but it's a really good pattern, and I like the tightness of it. When you're looking at these choke tubes, and in today's turkey world, you got to remember, some people are shooting these turkeys super close. So I also don't want to have a pattern, for me personally, again, whatever your choice is fine, but for me personally, I don't want something that's like a golf ball or like a baseball, because sometimes you're getting in, these turkeys are tight, you're shooting them maybe 5, 10, 15 yards, so I want a pattern that's got a little bit to it, and that Headbanger offers that. It's still tight, but at 30 yards, you can see I still got a little bit of room, like I said, for human error. So at 30 yards on a number 5 out of the Headbanger is that. Then jump to a number 6. Again, you can see just a barrage of pellets in the kill zone. And then went to a number 9. All of these, whether you're shooting the full or the Headbanger, although the Headbanger seems to be quite a bit tighter, would be effective in the turkey woods. It comes down to personal preference. And again, your gun may shoot different than mine, your choke tubes, your shells. So we all have to go out there and try to be scientists, if you will, before you head out there and test your products. Over the years, like I said, the TSS has really exploded on the scene. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's extremely effective. But going back to, the lead shells, I hunted my entire life with those and have had taken tons of turkeys with them. But I think what it comes down to mostly, as we all get excited, as we all get prepped, and as we all get ready to head out to the turkey woods, is doing our part as hunters, as conservationists, to make sure our equipment is as dialed in as it can be, so that in the heat of the moment, once that old long beard is up in your effective range, you can make the shot count. And the only way to do that is to get out there and to practice, to target your shotgun. I recommend it for everybody. I do it myself every year with the same gun sometimes, just to be sure that I have that confidence before I get out there, before I get yelping, before I get started with the season. I want to make sure that my confidence level is high, my gun is shot and loosened up and ready, and my trigger finger is sitting on go. So really, to recap everything, don't be afraid to try it all. Don't be afraid to take some time, get out to the range, utilize different choke tubes, because again, you may like a pattern more out of a particular choke that maybe I don't prefer. And it still comes down to personal preference. I'm just helping you along with some of the things that I've found out of the guns and choke tubes and shot sizes that I've shot over the years. But you got to get out there, spend some time with your equipment, and it's really fun. I mean, you can get out there and see maybe your gun shoots better with this shell or with this load or with this, particular round. But another thing that's super important for everybody, no matter where you're hunting, with TSS, with shot sizes, it is crucial that you check your rules and regulations within the states, because in some states, they only allow certain shot. So you have to be sure that if you want to run a number 9 out of your turkey gun or whatever shot size you want to use, you have to be sure that it is legal within the state that you're hunting. So that's something that's super important and that you don't want to forget as you're getting ready, because if you're hunting multiple states, your state may have one set of rules, and New Jersey may have another set of rules. So you want to be sure that you look at the rules and regulations when it comes to your shot sizes. But get out there, enjoy the time out in the woods and the preparation, try out a bunch of different loads, a bunch of different shotgun choke tubes, and see what shoots best for you. So when that old gobbler's up in front of you and your trigger finger is ready to rock, you can burn powder and punch some tags.